Haruto consoles her, stating they will come back later, and that the next time she will be able to visit her parents personally. She cheerfully concurs, suggesting they proceed to Rodania. Now the focus moves to Lizelot on a dirigible. Ari proclaims that they are nearing Amdy, but abruptly the dirigible starts to lurch uncontrollably. Lizelot inquires about the commotion, and Chloe notifies her that a massive ebony dragon has materialized, compelling the dirigible to descend in a neighboring village. The episode commences in the kingdom of Galark, in the Duchy of Kretia, where we observe Liz on a vessel with the skipper traveling to the district of Amdy. During their voyage, they detect a dragon soaring in the heaven, prompting the skipper to execute an emergency descent in the Duchy of Kretia, as maintaining their trajectory to Amdy would be perilous. Liz expresses gratitude to the skipper for his prudent judgment, and he then relates to her the tale of the enchanted dirigible owned by the Dukiajanot's family. Afterward, they disembark in the municipality, and are received by Baroness Buxa, who is shortly joined by Haruwaki, who likewise greets Liz. He then inquires if she has encountered the champion Beltron. She affirms that she has indeed met him, and was privileged to convey a summons to their champion Bam. She questions why they are all assembled there, to which Haruwaki clarifies that Yogonaut indicated he had affairs in Gallic, and given that she is pausing in Amdy, he escorted her. Nevertheless, they come across the dragon mid-flight. Liz grasps that the assembly is vital for exchanging intelligence and deliberating the measures that necessitate implementation, and Buxa invites them to lodge until the conferences conclude. Subsequently, we shift to the kingdom of Beltron, in the metropolis of Rodania, the seat of the Mark of Rodden territory. Here we perceive Haruto with Celia, as they amble through the town appreciating the bustling ambience. Despite their kingdom being banished from the regal capital, the locale is still extremely animated. At this juncture, they glance behind them and discern that they cannot locate Asia. Haruto retraces his steps to seek her, and discovers her before a shop consuming something without compensating the merchant. He proposes to settle the account, and the merchant informs them that they can partake of anything they desire. However, Haruto extends his gratitude only for the merchant to disclose that the invoice has already been settled by a gentleman who arranged a vessel for the champion, for which he imposed a hefty. Haruto is astonished by this revelation, and the merchant mentions the champions summoned here have received invitations to partake in a celebratory feast. Haruto then inquires of the merchant if he possesses any knowledge regarding these champions, but the merchant expresses regret for his ignorance of their appellation. Celia then inquires whether the champion's vessel will embark, and the merchant confirms it will depart today with the princess and her entourage to Galar. Following this, we revert to the assembly with Yogonaut Haruwaki. He voices apprehension that the dragon's manifestation is profoundly unsettling, and that no one present is equipped to confront it. They must contemplate a course of action for the direst circumstance. Liz advises him that they should perhaps contemplate relocating the populace when it comes to addressing Noer, implying that the dragon might pursue them. She then seeks Duke Yogonaut's perspective on this matter, but Hiraki interjects, proposing they need to hold someone accountable for this predicament. He inquires about her strategy, and she replies that she aims to return to Amdy, as she entrusted a deputy in her stead, but she is the sovereign of that municipality. Haruwaki reacts with astonishment, and then questions if she intends to utilize an enchanted dirigible. He cautions that piloting one would incite the dragon. Liz informs him that she plans to return by land on account of the dragon. Ideally, if they depart tomorrow morning, they should arrive before dusk with her attendants, who are all proficient in combat. Hirokuki insists he will accompany her, because a champion should not remain passive in such a crisis. Duke Yogonaut accedes to his petition, acknowledging he is a champion, and that they are not in a position to dictate to him. Liz counters by stating that Haruwaki is a champion from another realm, and she cannot jeopardize him for their benefit. Haruwaki retorts that he serves as a champion here, pledging to assist Duke Kyajanot and his confederates, asserting that should anything transpire, they will not coerce him to assume liability. Then Duke Huguenot informs Princess Flora that it would be considerably more problematic if Hiroki operated entirely autonomously, and he asks her if she consents to this. Flora confirms her agreement, as after all, they cannot simply seek sanctuary and abandon Hiroki. Hiroki then elaborates, stating he will escort them to Amanda, and if circumstances deteriorate, they will need to depend on him. He employs his sorcery to unveil his consecrated armament, Yamada no Orochi. After the conference adjourns, Liz proceeds to the carriage where she is approached by Raymond Brandt, a knight under Duke Huguenot's command. He converses with Arya, the maid, and informs Liz that he has been instructed to escort her today to safeguard her from any peril. Liz expresses her gratitude for his solicitude, then inquires if he and Arya are familiar with each other. Arya replies that she has not seen him in a considerable period, but he frequently checks on her because he is aware she hails from a ruined lineage. Arya explains that Liz adopted her, which is why she perpetually strives for excellence. Later, Liz embarks with Roanna, Hiroki, and Princess Flora. Hiroki desires to slumber briefly, but Roanna advises him to remain vigilant. Liz then converses with Flora, expressing her understanding that Flora is unaccustomed to traversing by carriage on such uneven thoroughfares. Liz encourages her to speak up if she experiences any discomfort. Flora replies that is not the issue. She simply struggles with articulation and finds solace in listening to others converse. Liz reassures her, saying Flora is welcome to converse with her if she desires, as there is much Liz would like to ascertain about her. At that instant, Arya requests to halt the carriage to adopt a combat arrangement, as there are beasts in the vicinity. Everyone braces themselves for an assault, as innumerable beasts are concealed in the woodland on both flanks. The abrupt emergence of the creatures astounds everyone. The beasts commence hurling stone, and the soldiers elevate their shields for protection. Rona and her companions are terrified, so Arya employs her magic to conjure a barrier around the carriage. Grant requests her to maintain the injured near the carriage for their safety. He then calls out to the Duke, urging him to remain within. Arya implores Brandt to abandon the forward defensive position, as there are beasts approaching from the rear in the woodland exceeding 300 in number. She instructs Liz to remain inside the carriage, as the wall should be sufficiently resilient to withstand the projectile. Seirei then declares she will eliminate the adversaries before them, and directs the others to dissolve their barriers and commence attacking individually. Arya exits the barrier and instructs the knights to persist in their defense while she manages the assault. She utilizes her magic and charges at the beasts, felling them and vanquishing the remainder with her blade. A companion remarks, "That's our princess, the headhunter. She's dependable." Arya's companion responds, "Don't just remain idle. We must make our assault noticeable as well." She instructs them to secure the other flank and tells Chloe to remain behind. The knights, utilizing her specialized ammunition to defeat feebler beasts, reminding her to avoid striking allies. Arya then addresses Natalie, stating, "Let's go," as they activate their physical augmentation, rushing at the beasts and overcoming them. A mysterious entity in the sky observes the spectacle, remarking, "There's an exceptional woman down there. She must be Liza Lott's instrument and confidant. Their defense on both sides is formidable. Liza-Lott's adherents are adept, but there's a weakness I can exploit." The scene transitions to the carriage interior, where the protagonist Hiroki, exasperated, inquires, "What's transpiring out there?" Lazello soothes him, saying, "Everything is under control. Do not fret. Everyone outside is a combat specialist." Princess Flora adds, "We must have confidence in them." Hiroki, unconvinced, retorts, "I cannot trust individuals I scarcely know. I would be foolish to rely on them." Feeling apprehensive, Liza Lotte apologizes to Flora, confessing, "I'm afraid. Would it be permissible if I held your hand, princess?" Meanwhile, Hiroki inquires of Roanna if she is frightened, assuring her that if necessary, he will unleash the might of his sword to shield her. Roanna responds that is very reassuring. Just then, a loud crash startles everyone inside the carriage. Hiroki, alarmed, inquires, "What's impacting us now? There shouldn't be any beast above us." Lies, alert but uncertain, says, "I'm unaware as well, Hiroki." Unable to endure it any longer, he exits the carriage. Flora, worried, requests Lazzalo to follow him. Lazzalo concurs, instructing Flora to remain close and avoid becoming separated. Stepping out of the carriage, she utilizes her magic to erect a protective barrier. Surveying the area, she is astonished by the sheer quantity of beasts concealed in the woodland. The protagonist, observing them, inquires, "You emerged as well. What's happening here? Can we even prevail?" Lazzalo replies, "That is not for us to determine, but currently their collaboration is maintaining their stability. Let's hope they persevere." Hiroki mutters, "What a dreadful world. A protagonist with exceptional abilities should be immensely valuable in his initial combat. No one desires to confront this degree of difficulty immediately." Liza instructs Rona to attend to the princess, as she will utilize her magic to mend the injured. Rona consents, stating, "I'll entrust the remainder to you." Lizelot then proceeds to tend to the wounded, while Arya approaches, checking on her. Lizelot reassures her and inquires about the present circumstances. Arya clarifies, "We're compelled to defend on both flanks and at the rear. I've handled the majority of the beasts at the front, and I'll leave the rest to the other knights as I proceed to assist the rear." Lizelot encourages, "Make it swift. I'm depending on you." Lazzalo commences healing an injured knight, saying, "I must do whatever I can." Just then, the mysterious entity reappears, noting, "So you've proceeded to the rear. It appears the diversion succeeded." Arya then charges at the remaining beasts, vanquishing them one by one. Raymond, observing Arya, contemplates, "She's formidable. Is it the power of that enchanted blade, or is it her own prowess?" Arya, noticing him, remarks, "I believe I'm sufficient to eliminate the adversaries here. Could you assist the flanks in the forward line?" Abruptly, a colossal beast appears, terrifying everyone. Lizelot inquires of Rona, "Have you ever witnessed that beast before?" Rona replies, "It's a minotaur, a legendary creature that surfaced during the conflict." Hiroki, panicking, exclaims, "This is the end for us." The beast charges towards them, but Arya intercepts it to safeguard Lizelot. The beast swings wildly, demolishing everything in its path, and attempts to seize the princess. Lazzalo intervenes, rescuing Flora, but just as the beast prepares another assault, Haruto appears, severing its arm and striking its back with his blade. Everyone is astonished by Haruto's might as he assures them, "I'm here to assist." The other beast charges at Haruto, but he swiftly vanquishes. The group rejoices as the remaining beast, terrified, retreats. Haruto then glances at the princess, surprised by her composed demeanor.